Okay, this is topic 10, ratio homework number 4. Number 1 says a student runs 3 minutes for every 12 minutes that she walks. Complete the table using this ratio. So in this example, they give us all of the times for running. So we're just going to be going in one direction. So you're asking, what do we do to this 3 to get 12? Now remember, Ms. Flood said you're either multiplying or dividing. So since our number's increasing, we're going to be multiplying by 4. 3 times 4 gives us 12. So we're going to follow that same rule. We're going to do 6 times 4, and that'll give us 24. 9 times 4 gives us 36. 12 times 4 gives us 48. And 15 times 4 gives us 60. Okay, number 2, a store charges $110 for every 10 bags of fertilizer that the farmer buys. Complete the table using this ratio. Now in this table, sometimes we're going to be given the number of bags of fertilizer and have to find the cost. But sometimes we're given the cost and have to find the fertilizer. So for the first one, to go from 10 to 110, since the number's getting bigger, we had to multiply, and in this case we multiplied by 11. So if we're going backwards, if we're going from cost to bags of fertilizer, you're just going to do the opposite. Here we're looking for a smaller number, so we're going to have to divide by 11. So on your calculator, you're just going to type in 220 divided by 11, and that's going to say 20 bags. Okay, I'm going to let you guys finish this one up. If you go here, you're going to be multiplying by 11 because you're trying to get that bigger number, which is the cost. All right, number 3, we told you did not have to do because the graph did not copy. So we're going to skip down to number 4. When you're just given different fractions, the way that you can tell if they're proportional is, are they equivalent or are they equal to each other? So we can do this by either reducing the first fraction. So I can reduce 20 over 70 by dividing by 10 on the top and the bottom, and that would give me 2/7. So what you could do is go through each of these fractions and see, do they also reduce to 2/7? A quicker way would also be on your calculator to do 20 divided by 70, turn it into a decimal. So when I do 20 divided by 70, I get that decimal. Then I'm going to try the others. If I do 8 divided by 28, I get that same decimal, so that tells me that they're equivalent. If I did 7 divided by 2, that I get 3.5. That's not equivalent or proportional. So that's what you're going to do. You're going to go through this list of fractions and either reduce them to see if they're 2/7, or do they give you this decimal. Number 5 is the same thing. Are these ratios proportional? You're going to do that same thing, either change them both into decimals or reduce them both to see if they're equal. Number 6 says, suppose you're waiting in a line. The time it takes for you to reach the front depends on the number of people ahead of you. Cross this out. This was just written an extra time. The table shows you how long you waited compared to how many were in front of you. Use the given graph to plot the information from the table, and then answer this question: is the data proportional? Now in class, Ms. Flood told us if that line goes through the origin at 0, they are proportional. So the first thing we want you to do is plot the points. So the number of people is down here, and the time is along the side. So when there's one person in front, it's going to take 2 minutes. 3 people, it's going to take 6 minutes. 5 people, it'll take 10. and 8 people, it'll take 16. Okay, you can use either the side of a piece of paper or a ruler if you have one as a straight edge, and then you're going to connect those points. Now, if I connect those, is it going to go through 0, 0? So in this case, it looks like it will go through 0, 0. So this data would be proportional. Now, if I look, can we have half of a person though? And in this case, we would say, no, we actually can't connect those lines. So I'm actually going to do that. But you can still use your straight edge to see whether or not it's going to go through 0. Okay, so you're going to do the same thing down for the bottom one. It says use the given graph and plot the pairs of values shown in the table. And does the table show a proportional relationship? So in this case, another way to tell was, did it follow the same rule? So to go from 1 to 2, we multiplied by 2. 3 to 6, we multiplied by 2. 5 to 10, we multiplied by 2. And 8 to 16, we multiplied by 2. So that rule works every time. So yes. You can check that same thing down here after you plot your data if it's hard to tell if it's a straight line. To go from 2 to 6, we'd have to multiply by 3. Does that work if you multiply 4 by 3? Do you get 8? So that's another way to tell if they are proportional.